yung gantong types ng transactions, no? So, sometimes nangyayari sila on occasional basis lang, no? Pero not always all the time is meron na present yung gantong type ng transactions. Okay? Then, yeah, they're only short term, so they're part nga of our tactical na decision making, not particularly of the strategic na decision making, no, and the day-to-day operations. So hindi sila kasama doon, but on a tactical na decision making tayo, na. So on the other hand, tinatawag din siyang na relevant costing because the way that we solve or come up with a decision in this type of situations is we're only considering nga yung mga relevant costs lang. No? So we're not considering every detail or all the details na pwede natin gamitin. But particularly, we're just only considering yung mga relevant na mga items na revenues and expenses. No? So, ayan. For the relevant costing nga, we are only using the future costs that are expected to be different or different between or among alternatives. So since tinatawag nga natin siyang relevant costing for the reason that we're just considering only those items that are relevant nga. Pag sinabing relevant, so may dalawang characteristic siya. So number one, that should be a future cost or pwedeng revenue naman. So, ibig sabihin yung cost na yon is hindi pa nai-incur. Ibig sabihin hindi pa natin nagagastos. So, to oppose, so of course, ang kabaliktaran naman ng future cost natin is yung ating sunk cost o kaya yung ating past cost, di ba? So, yun yung kanyang kabaliktaran. So, ayan. Then, another characteristic ng relevant cost is that relevant costs are differential cost, no? So, pag sinabing differential cost, between or among the alternatives nga na meron tayo, the amount should be different. Okay? Ayan, the amount should be different among the two alternatives. So, kapag magkaiba yung amount niya between the two alternatives, then different siya. So, kunwari, in one of the alternatives, gagastos ka ng 10,000. Sa kabilang alternative, wala kang gagastusin at all. So, we can say na different siya kasi magkaiba yung kanyang amount na i-incur in the two alternatives. Pero kapag present siya in both alternatives na meron tayo, so like kapag itong alternative na isa yung pinili mo, gagastos ka ng 10,000. Kapag yung kabila yung pinili mo, gagastos ka pa rin ng 10,000. Well, it does not have any relevance, no? Or wala siyang tulong kasi kahit ano yung decision natin, nandyan siya, di ba? So, same yung amount ng cost or expense. So, in that case, it will not make any difference in our decision. And, ayun nga, dahil same lang or indifferent naman yung amount ng cost na yan. So, that is the two characteristic para masabi nating relevant yung isang cost, no? And yun nga, ang pag-uusapan natin dito is the different situations that we can have in a company. And of course, particularly at the end point, we're going to make a decision kasi for each of the situations na meron tayo dito. No? So, kailangan natin pag-usapan kung paano yung ating decision-making process or kung paano tayo nagka-come up into a certain decision. No? So, syempre, included in our steps is number one, we have to identify first kung ano yung problem or kung ano yung situation that we are engaged in. No? So, the certain problem or situations na pag-uusapan natin in this chapter is hindi lang naman itong list na to, but there are also some other items that we will talk about, which includes accept or reject, special sales order, make or buy a component, sell as is or process further yung sell as is or process further yung joint product, no? O kaya i-continue yung operation or i-close na siya either permanently or temporary lang o kaya if we have scarce resources or capacity constraints. So pipiliin natin kung ano yung the best na product mix na gagamitin natin or anong product yung ipoproduce natin and paggagamitan natin ng mga resources na meron tayo. So once na na-identify mo na yung problem, alam mo na yung situation that you're engaged in. So letter B, you can now specify kung ano yung objective, criteria, and you can obtain the relevant information na kailangan natin. So once na na-engage ka na into that situation, naintindihan mo na kung ano yung kailangan mong gawin, um, alam mo na yung objective mo and yung criteria kung paano mo malalaman or kung paano ka magka-come up with a certain decision. No? So with that, ang gagawin na natin is i-obtain na natin yung relevant informations para matulungan tayo sa paggawa ng ating decision. Well, when it comes in the relevant nga lang yung kailangan nating mga amounts, no? Na cost or revenue. So, yun nga, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, may dalawang characteristics siya. So, those are future amounts and also different. So, among the alternatives na meron tayo, magkaiba yung amount and dapat hindi pa natin, hindi pa nangyayari yung transaction talaga. No? So, ayun, for it to be something na kailangan pa natin pagdesisyonan at the moment. No? Yan. Then, only the following are considered na relevant costs pero later on mapapakita naman natin yung mga cost na yan. So we have yung tinatawag natin na differential cost which is kapag differential cost, among the two alternatives na meron tayo, magkaiba yung amount. So yun nga, yun yung tinatawag natin na differential cost. We also have the avoidable cost. Yung avoidable cost naman is in one of these alternatives, nandun siya. Pero since avoidable nga siya or may iwasan, kapag pinili natin yung kabilang alternative, hindi na natin gagastusin yung cost na yun. No? So kaya nga avoidable. So we can say that those avoidable costs are also differential cost, di ba? Kasi nga, magkaiba yung amount niya in the two alternatives. Kasi on the other, ma-avoid mo na siya. No? So, yan yung ating isa sa mga relevant na cost. Tapos, last natin is we have our opportunity cost. So, opportunity cost naman is defined as the income forgone. Tama ba? So, gets na natin yung meaning ng opportunity cost na yan. So, yan nga daw yung income na mawawala kapag pinili mo yung isang alternative over the other. So, kapag yung isang alternative yung pinili mo, meron kang additional income or meron ka ng income na yan. Pero, kapag yung kabilang alternative na yung pinili mo, mawawala na yung revenue na yon. So, that is the opportunity cost. Okay? So, yan. Only those items are considered as relevant, no? All the other items is, yun na, hindi na sila relevant. Pero medyo malawak yung, madami yung pwedeng pumasok sa definition ng relevant, no? Particularly dun sa differential cost. So, basta magkaiba yung amount over the two alternatives, differential cost na siya, di ba? So ganun naman siya ka-broad. And to reiterate, the following items are considered as irrelevant. Kasi nga, any of the characteristic of the, or one of the characteristic of the cost to be relevant is hindi nila na-meet. No? So like for example nga, we have the past cost or sunk cost natin. O kaya ibang tawag natin dyan is out-of-pocket cost natin. No? So for that kind of expense, so those are past expenses na na-incur na natin. No? So since na-incur na natin, they already happened in the past. So hindi na nga sila magiging future cost kasi nangyari na, no? Nagastos na natin. So since hindi na nila na-meet yung criteria being a future cost, then hindi natin sila mako-consider as relevant cost, no? So parang paano ba? Ayun, well, kahit naman anong gawin mong decision in the future, that past expense will not matter kasi nangyari na yon in the past, no? So it will not change anything in the future. Then number 2, the future costs that do not differ between or among the alternatives. If the amount of cost is the same nga over the two alternatives, so kahit anong piliin mo na alternative, gagastos ka pa rin ng same amount, no? Or may revenue ka pa rin of the same amount, then that is considered as irrelevant kasi hindi siya differential cost, no? So, yan. So pag na-obtain mo na yung information, particularly na pili mo na kung ano lang yung mga relevant na information. Step number 3, you can identify and evaluate the alternative courses of action, then choose the best alternative. So we're going to do some calculations lang para mapili kung ano yung best alternative na meron tayo. Then afterwards, pipili na tayo or magde-decide na tayo. So, syempre, if income yung pinag-uusapan natin, if anong alternative yung magbibigay sa atin na mas mataas na income, yun yung pipiliin natin. While on the other hand, if expense or loss yung pinag-uusapan natin, if sino alternative yung makakapagbigay ng lower loss or cost, yun yung ating pipiliin. No? Then, kapag nakapag-decide na tayo kung anong alternative yung gagamitin natin, then number 4, you can implement the decision that we have chosen. Then number 5, once na nagkaroon na ng actual performance, we can evaluate that actual performance and provide a feedback kung ano ba yung naging actual result comparing to the expectation natin, no? For that decision that we have made. So, ganun lang naman siya. Okay? So, moving forwards, we have the different types of cost use in decision making. So we have defined some other in this na nga. So itong relevant, differential, avoidable, sunk, out-of-pocket, opportunity. Na-define naman na natin yan. Joint cost, which is considered as irrelevant. So later on, mapag-uusapan natin yan dun sa topic about sell as is or process further. No? So dun siya makita. As well as itong split of point tsaka further processing cost. Doon siya sa decision making na situation or scenario na yun. Well, on the other hand, the bottleneck resources we have here, as any resources or operations where the capacity is less than the demand placed upon it. So, ayun, we have this type of cost that we will talk about later on. So, listed in here are the list of situations that we're going to talk about in our discussion. So, hindi naman siya matatapos lahat today. No? Then aside from this, we have the transfer pricing decisions that will be added in this chapter, no? Kasi hindi natin siya na cover up during the midterms natin. We have two different approaches that we can use in solving the problems natin in the decision making wherein we can use the total approach as well as the differential approach, no, sa pagsosolve natin sa problem. So sa total approach, lahat ng buong amount ng revenue and expenses is i-consider natin. Then kukunin natin yung net amount kung ano yung magkakaroon ng or magbibigay nga sa atin ng mas mataas na revenue or lower na cost or loss, yun yung ating pipiliin. But dito, the total amount of revenue and cost is gagamitin natin. As in total, kahit relevant sila or hindi, wala tayong pakialam. Basta yung whole amount ng total, yung whole amount ng expenses and revenue is i-consider natin. While on the other hand, sa differential approach, only the differences or changes in the cost and revenues are considered. So kung ano lang yung different in amount in the two alternatives that we have, kung ano lang yung magkaiba yung amount, yung tinaas niya or ilan yung binaba niya, yung amount lang na yun yung i-consider natin in the decision making. Kasi nga, ang pinag-usapan natin, kapag irrelevant, okay lang kahit hindi na natin gamitin. And the irrelevant na mga details will not change the decision that we can make. No? So, ayun. So, let's have an illustration lang muna to differentiate the total cost from the total approach from the differential approach. No? So, some problem lang para mapakita natin yung difference ng dalawa. So, for this, we have Indiana Company. They sell a single product called Jones. No? The company normally produces and sells 80,000 units each year at a selling price of 40 pesos per unit. The company's unit cost at this level of activity is given below. So at 80,000 units level of activity, ito yung kanyang unit cost. So we have DMDL, variable overhead, fixed overhead, variable selling at saka fixed selling. So first question is we have to compute for the Indiana company's net income. Now, so of course, if we're going to compute for the net income, we can use the variable costing approach na lang wherein i-separate natin yung mga variable cost from the fixed cost, no? Then particularly yung mga variable cost, in a per unit mo na siya, katulad ng ginawa natin sa CVP analysis, then kukunin muna natin yung contribution margin per unit na. So yun na lang yung approach na gamitin natin. So like for example, to compute for the sales, of course, pwedeng diretso na tayo sa contribution margin. So if ganun yung gagawin natin. But if you don't want, start ka muna sa sales which is at magkano selling price? 40 pesos per unit. Tapos we have our variable cost. Siyempre, kukunin mo lahat ng variable cost per unit. So ano ba yung mga variable cost natin dito? So we have 9.5, 10, 2.8, tsaka 1.7. So yan yung ating mga variable cost. No? So pakikuha naman yung total, tapos pakichat dito kung magkano. Wala kasi yung Q. So we have a total of 24 pesos per unit. Thank you. So at 24 pesos siya, so we can say na yung ating contribution margin per unit will be at 16 pesos per unit. So pwedeng ganyan yung approach na gamitin natin later on. Then from this contribution margin, so i-deduct nga natin yung ating mga fixed cost and expenses. No? So yung fixed cost natin, we have 5 pesos per unit, pero hindi naman to usually on a per unit basis, di ba? So compute na lang muna natin yung total fixed cost, no? Fixed overhead cost natin. So if this 5 pesos per unit is computed using the activity level of 80,000 units, so we can multiply the 80,000 units by 5 pesos to compute for the total fixed overhead cost. Now, so 80,000 units times 5 pesos, that is an overhead cost of 400,000 pesos. Tama naman, no? Then on the other hand, our fixed selling expense is at 4.5 pesos per unit. That is also computed using the capacity of 80,000 units, and multiplying the 80,000 units by that 4.5, we can say that the total fixed selling expense that we have is at 360,000 pesos. Okay, so these two amounts, 400,000 pesos of fixed overhead and 360,000 pesos of fixed selling, can be deducted from the total contribution margin para makompute natin sa baba yung ating net income or profit. No? So, yan, compute na natin. So, this is at 80,000 units na capacity level. So, from the contribution margin of 16 pesos per unit times 80,000 units, na paki-multiply, magkano to? Yep, okay, 1,280. So that will be at 1,280,000 pesos yung ating CM. Then less itong 400 to, no? So less 400,000 na fixed overhead, less 360,000 na fixed selling expenses. That will be at 520. Tama ba? So 520,000 pesos. Okay? So yan yung ating net income, and that is our answer for requirement number 1. So yun lang naman, no? Yan, may solution pala dito. Hiniram ko lang kasi itong PowerPoint presentation kung kanina. Ayan, meron pala siya dyan, 520. Then, on the other hand, ito na yung unang requirement natin. Then, income of Indiana company is at 520,000 pesos. So, for requirement number 2, assuming that the company has sufficient capacity to produce 100,000 rings. So, from 80,000 initially, babaguhin na natin to. Magpo-produce na tayo ng 100,000 rings since meron naman daw tayong capacity without any increase in our fixed overhead costs. So, okay naman na mag-increase tayo kasi itong fixed overhead cost natin will still be the same daw, which is 400,000 pesos pa rin siya. Pero, the company could increase the sales by 25%. Ilan ba yung 25%? Ito pa rin naman yan pinag-uusapan, di ba? From 80,000 gagawing 100,000 units. That is also equal to increase of 25%. Okay. So, check mo na lang from 80,000, kunin mo yung 25% nito or multiply mo sa 1.25. Syempre, ang makukuha mo is yung 100,000. So, kapag nag-increase daw tayo ng sales by 25%, if it were to increase the fixed mag-i-increase daw yung sales natin by 25% if i-increase natin yung ating fixed selling expense by 120,000 pesos. So kapag nag-increase tayo ng capacity, ang mangyayari lang is madadagdagan yung ating fixed selling expenses by 120,000 pesos. No? So ito lang yung mababago. Pero yung fixed cost is still the same at 400,000 pesos. So the requirement is to determine the effect of the company profit using the total analysis and the differential analysis. No? So, una, dun muna tayo sa total analysis approach. No? So, sa total analysis approach, so lahat nga ng amounts is kukumpitin pa rin natin as if whether relevant sila or hindi is gagamitin pa rin natin. So kunwari, yung isang decision natin is magpo-produce tayo ng 800,000 units. Yung pangalawang decision natin is magpo-produce tayo ng 100,000 units. So we can compute na lang directly for the CM, tapos sa baba less natin yung fixed cost, fixed OH, tapos sa baba less natin yung fixed selling expenses, no? Then afterwards, compute natin yung net income natin for the two alternatives that we can have, then we can compare, no? So yan, at 80,000 units na capacity nga, ito yung na-compute natin kanina wherein meron tayong CM na 120, 1 to 80,000 pesos, fixed OH na 400,000 pesos, selling na 360,000 pesos. No? Kaya ang net natin sa baba is 520,000 pesos. So earlier na-compute na natin yan. So sinulat uli natin lahat kasi total analysis or total approach yung gamit natin. Next na alternative natin is for us to produce 100,000 units of rings. No? So kung 100,000 units yung ipoproduce at ibebenta natin, so let's start. Magkano yung magiging contribution margin natin? Of course, that will be 100,000 units times 16 pesos kada isa nga yung ating CM. Sige, kaya ko na to guys. 100,000 times 16 pesos per unit, that is at 1.6 thousand pesos. 1.6 million pesos. Then out of that 1.6, i-deduct natin yung fixed OH, that is 400,000 pesos. Same nga lang daw kasi siya kahit mag-increase tayo ng capacity kasi kaya pa naman. But yung ating fixed selling and expenses from 360,000 pesos, it will increase by 120,000 pesos. So the amount of fixed selling expenses as of this or for this level is at 480,000 pesos. No? Yan. So from 1.6 less FOH na 600 less selling expenses na 480, that will be at 720,000 pesos. Tama? So at this level of capacity, ang net income natin is 720,000 pesos. So among this, i-compare natin itong dalawa, 520 versus 720, of course, ang magiging decision natin is, sige, mag-produce tayo ng 100,000 units kahit nadagdagan yung ating cost ng 120 kasi tataas naman yung ating profit, di ba? So particularly, tataas siya by 200,000 pesos. Okay? So that is using the total analysis approach. Okay? Total analysis approach. While on the other hand, kapag differential na lang, kung ano na nga lang yung mga amounts na different, ibig sabihin, yun yung mga amount na mababago, kung magkano yung magiging increase, magkano yung magiging decrease, yun na lang yung ating i-consider. No? So, for letter B requirement, if we're going to use the differential analysis approach, the only thing that we're going to consider is number one, ano ba yung mga mababago dito? Ang mga mababago dito is yung amount ng ating contribution margin. Kasi initially, yung CM lang natin is 16 pesos per unit. Nakabase lang siya sa 80,000 units. Pero now, it is now based on 100,000 units. No? So it follows, madadagdagan ng 20,000 units yung ating capacity and sales. And it follows yung CM natin is madadagdagan by 20,000 units multiplied by that 16 pesos per unit. No? So 16 pesos per unit times 16 pesos per unit times 20,000 units, that is equal to 320,000 pesos. No? So yun na lang yung gagamitin natin, yung 320. Direct ka na doon kung magkano yung difference. No? Kung magkano yung naging increase. Pero kung gusto mo, compare mo tong 1,280 less 1.6. No? So ganun din, magka-come up ka dyan sa 320. No? So under the differential analysis, kahit hindi na natin ilagay yung FOH na yung fixed overhead kasi in the two approaches or in the two capacity levels that we have, hindi naman magkakaroon ng changes sa amount ng fixed overhead. So hindi na natin siya i-consider in this differential analysis approach. Pero yung ating fixed selling expenses, take note, magkakaroon tayo ng additional expenses. So may additional CM tayo sa taas kanina since ito is additional din pero gastos naman, in-net amount natin siya or i-deduct natin siya from the 320,000 pesos. No? So from 320,000 pesos na dagdag sa CM, na dagdagan yung cost ng 120,000 pesos, ang net effect lang or ang net increase lang no, na mangyayari in the revenue natin is at 200,000 pesos, no? So, yan yung amount na makukuha natin using the differential analysis approach. So, dito, since net amount to na positive or net income yung magkakaroon tayo, di ba? Kasi mas malaki yung increase sa CM than the increase in the expenses, then it is positive naman. No, we can go with the decision of producing 100,000 units with an advantage of 200,000 pesos. Okay? Sige, as of that part, meron ba tayong question? Pakipindot nga yung like button kung wala naman tanong. Okay. Okay, sige. Thank you. Yan, next na tayo. No? So, ganun lang yung difference ng total approach at differential approach. So, all throughout our discussion, since relevant costing tayo or differential analysis din pala yung ibang tawag dito sa ibang libro. O kaya nga, short-term non-routine decision making kay Agamata, di ba? So, ang gagamitin natin na approach moving forward is differential analysis na lang. Okay? So, kung ano na lang yung amounts na different among the two alternatives na pag-uusapan natin or kung magkano lang yung net increase or net decrease, yun na lang yung yun na lang yung ating i-consider. Okay? So, let's now go to the different situations that we're going to talk about. So, first scenario natin is we're going to make or buy a subcomponent, no? So, dito si company is meron siyang option. Either siya yung magmamanufacture ng mismong subcomponent or subproduct na kailangan niya in the product itself na gagawin niya, or bibili siya from the third party ng bibili niya na lang from third party yung product na yon, no? So may isang option pa dito sa make or buy. So actually related dito yung transfer pricing, di ba? So ito naman, bibili din tayo, no? Pero ano yung difference from the buy itself? So itong pinag-uusapan kasi natin dito is bibili tayo from outside party. Pero kapag within the same company or different na segment lang siya from the same company. So transfer pricing yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, no? So internal purchase itong transfer pricing. Ito naman external purchase tayo dito sa make or buy. Okay? So let's proceed with this problem na pag-uusapan natin. So in this problem, make or buy muna tayo. So either gagawin natin or bibili natin from an outside vendor or outside supplier. So in here, we have Tiger Company. So si Tiger Company, gumagamit siya ng 30 units ng part kitty per month in the production of its main product. So para magawa niya yung kanyang mismong main product, gumagawa muna siya nung part or component na kitty. Okay? Which is yung kitty yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. So 30 units particularly. The manufacturing cost per unit of part kitties are follows. So for us to produce 1 unit of kitty, ito yung mga information natin to make, no? So to have 1 unit of kitty, ito yung mga gastos natin, 1,000 na material, handling cost of 100, may nakanote sa handling cost. Sabi niya dito sa baba, the handling cost is applied at 10% of the cost, no? So kaya nga 100 to kasi from 1,000 na material cost times 10%, 100 yung ating handling cost. Pero applicable daw to sa direct materials and or any purchase parts. So every other parts na pino-purchase natin is basta every time na bumibili tayo, mayroon ng handling cost na 10%. Yun yung scenario natin dito. So aside from the direct materials, other components na ating manufacturing cost is of course our direct labor and the factory overhead, wherein itong FOH natin nakasulat dito 40% fixed, so it follows of course yung 60% na remaining amount is variable na yan. Okay? So yan yung mga amount na meron tayo in this. So kung tayo yung mag-manufacture nung kitty on our own, these are the costs that we're going to incur. Okay? The other option that we have is si Lion Company daw, a well-known producer of part kitty, has offered to supply the part for Tiger Company at 12,500 pesos per unit. So si Lion Company is possible supplier naman natin na sa kanya na lang tayo bibili nung same part, no? Assuming same yung quality nung pinoproduce niya na product, tsaka kapag tayo yung nag-produce ng product, no? So kung same quality naman, wala tayong magiging problema. And instead of producing the subcomponent on our own, babayaran na lang natin siya ng 12,500 pesos per unit. Okay? So hindi na tayo magpo-produce. Bibili na lang tayo at 12,500 per unit. Should Tiger Company accept Lion's offer? So kung tinanggap daw ni Tiger na bibili na lang siya kay Lion, the resulting idle capacity may be used to produce another product. So magkakaroon daw ng idle capacity. So saan nang galing yung idle capacity? Kasi nga hindi na tayo magpo-produce, 'di ba? So since hindi na tayo magpo-produce, so pwedeng free up na yung certain space, meron tayong machinery na hindi nagagamitin, yung ibang fixed salary natin na mga supervisor, kunwari, of course, less na yung kanyang babantayan kasi bibili na lang tayo, di ba? So, merong mga magiging idle capacity. Then, yung idle capacity na yun is pwede daw gamitin para makapag-produce ng product na mingming, and kapag ginawa natin yung product mingming, magkakaroon ng contribution margin yun na 75,000 pesos. Na? So, yun yung scenario natin dito. Ang question is, should Tiger Company make or buy the part kitty from Lion Company, and bakit? Magkano yung advantage ng isang decision over the other? Okay? So, ayan, since differential analysis ngayong gagawin natin, so check muna natin whether yung mga expenses na meron tayo dito is relevant ba sila or hindi, no? So, identify natin yung mga expenses natin, whether relevant sila or not. So, for example, itong materials, no? So, para ma-analyze natin, compare natin. Magkano yung gagastusin natin ng materials kung magpo-produce tayo, and magkano yung gagastusin natin na material cost kung bibili na lang tayo, no? Tapos check natin, magkaiba ba yung amount niya? Kung magkaiba yung amount niya, different siya, and future cost naman 'to, 'di ba? So, relevant sila. Iko-consider mo yung amount niya kung magkano, no? And magkano iko-consider mo particularly na relevant na amount. So, yan. For this material cost, okay, so kunwari, itong material cost, kapag nag-produce tayo, nag-make tayo on our own, gagastusin natin siya, no? Pero kung bibili na lang tayo kay Lion Tiger ng component na yon, well, hindi na tayo magpo-purchase ng raw materials, 'di ba? Raw materials 'to eh. So, raw materials, bibili pa rin tayo kung tayo magpo-produce, of course. Pero kung bibili na lang tayo, hindi na natin siya gagastusin. So, we can say that this material cost is a relevant na cost. Tama ba? Relevant to, no? On the other hand, we have the handling cost. Kasama na yan nito ng materials, yung handling cost. Then, next natin, we have the direct labor. Sa direct labor natin, it has a cost of 500,000. Kapag magpo-produce tayo, of course, kailangan natin yung mga laborers natin for that, no? Yung magpo-produce. Pero, kung bibili na lang tayo, then, wala na silang ipoproduce. Wala na tayong gagastusin for direct labor, no? Nagigets ba yung ginagawa natin? So, itong direct labor is considered as relevant. Okay? Sige, next. What if ito namang FOH? Itong FOH, sige, is it relevant or irrelevant? Itong factory overhead natin, relevant cost ba siya or hindi? Anyone? So may answer sila, relevant daw pero sa variable lang, no? Tapos yung isa, hindi sure. So, thank you for the responses. So, tama naman. Now, we have to separate first our variable portion tsaka fixed portion. So, itong variable portion nga, katulad ng DM tsaka DL, itong variable overhead is may incur natin siya kapag gagawin pa rin natin. Pero since variable nga siya, nakadepende siya sa production, di ba? Yun yung kanyang cost driver. Of course, kung wala na tayong ipoproduce at bibili na lang tayo, um, mawawala na rin yung cost na yon. But the fixed expenses or the fixed factory overhead on usually, no, um, kahit mag-produce tayo or hindi is gagastusin pa rin natin sila, no? So particularly kung hindi sila avoidable. So hindi avoidable ibig sabihin, ayun, hindi mo maiiwasan yung cost kahit bibili ka or kahit ikaw pa rin yung gagawa, um, nandun pa rin siya, gagastusin mo pa rin siya. So kung unavoidable yung expenses, particularly yung fixed expense, no? So kung yung fixed expense is unavoidable siya, considered siya as irrelevant, no? Ulitin natin, yung fixed cost, kung unavoidable siya, tama naman, no? Kung, kapag unavoidable, hindi mo maiiwasan yung cost na yon. So, ibig sabihin, whether kahit anong alternative yung piliin mo, gagastusin mo pa rin siya. Tama ba? Tama ba yung sinasabi ko? So, unavoidable, hindi mo maiiwasan. In any alternative that you want to choose, existing yung cost na yon. So, in that case, hindi siya different. Tama ba? Or kasi same lang yung amount, no? So kapag unavoidable yung fixed cost, irrelevant siya. Kahit hindi mo na siya i-consider kasi kahit i-add mo yan in both alternatives or kahit i-minus mo siya in both alternatives, ganun pa rin. It will make any difference in your um bottom line, no? Pero kapag avoidable yung fixed cost, dun mo siya i-considered as relevant. So kunwari, yung yung salary ng supervisor, no? So kunwari lang naman, no? So kunwari yung salary ng supervisor, kapag hindi na tayo magpo-produce, tatanggalin na rin natin yung supervisor. So mawawalan na siya ng trabaho. So kung magkano man yung salary niya, mawawala na, 'di ba? As fixed cost. So since avoidable 'yon, the amount of the salary na binabayad natin to our supervisor is considered as relevant cost siya, no? Avoidable costs are considered as relevant. So, kapag magpo-produce tayo, meron tayong expense na babayaran or kapag magpo-produce tayo, babayaran mo si supervisor. Pero kapag bibili na lang tayo, hindi mo na babayaran si supervisor. No? So, mga ganon, yung mga pwede nating makita or analysis for that. Pero in this scenario, wala namang sinabi if the fixed cost is avoidable or unavoidable. No? So in that case, kapag walang sinabi kung avoidable yung fixed cost or hindi, syempre, ang safest assumption natin, ititreat natin siya as unavoidable. No? So kung unavoidable nga, kahit ano mangyari, i-incur mo pa rin siya. So that is irrelevant. So parang kahit ano mangyari, nandun siya. So, in that case, i-consider mo siya as irrelevant, no? Yan. Okay, ano pa yung ibang information na kailangan natin dito? Other information is we have the handling cost nga. Every time na bumibili ka, merong 10% na handling cost na need bayaran. Then, dito nga, alternative natin kay Lion Company, option natin is bibili na lang tayo sa kanya, di ba? So, kung bibili tayo, may gagastusin tayo for the purchase price of Kitty. Yung mismong kitty na yung bibili natin. No? So, yung purchase price ng kitty is gagastusin mo kung bibili ka. Pero kung magpo-produce ka, of course, hindi ka gagastos to purchase that. No? And the last natin is the 75,000 pesos na contribution margin wherein CM of Mingming. So, kung gagastos, kung magpo-produce ka, wala kang revenue, pero kung bibili ka na lang, magkakaroon ka ng idle capacity and magkakaroon ka ng revenue, no? So yan yung mga relevant na items natin dito. So consider na natin. So kung ano lang yung relevant nga, yan lang yung gagamitin natin for the computation, no? So, dalawa yung decision natin, either magme-make tayo or magba-buy. So, magkano yung mga amounts na pag-uusapan natin? So, sige, isa-isayin natin. Okay? So, for the cost to make, magkano yung mga gastos natin kung tayo pa rin yung magpo-produce? So, 30 units yung pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? So, ang magiging gastos natin is number 1, for the materials, 30 units times 1,000 pesos kada isa. So, that is 30,000 pesos. Meron ata dito. Ito na lang. No? So, kung magbibili na lang tayo or gagawa pala tayo, sorry. So, unang option natin is kung gagawa tayo. So, we have a material cost of 30,000 pesos. For the handling fee, that is 10% of this. Then, yung direct labor natin dito kanina is 5,000 pesos per unit times 30 units. That is 150,000 pesos. Then, on the other hand, for our variable, for the factory overhead natin, so ang i-consider nga lang natin na relevant in this part is yung 60% na variable. Yung 40% nagkasundo naman na tayo, irrelevant siya kasi under both alternatives natin, nandun siya, di ba? So, yung fixed overhead, na factory overhead, irrelevant, hindi na natin isasama. Ang isasama na lang natin is yung variable overhead. No? So, for the variable overhead, magkano yan? 60% ng 10,000 pesos. So, that is 6,000 pesos per unit. No? So, 10% times 60%. So, that is 6,000 pesos per unit times 30 units. We have 1.8 million pesos. So, ang total cost to make natin, kung tayo yung magpo-produce, ang gagastusin natin is 363,000 pesos. Okay? While on the other hand, kung bibili na lang tayo, ano na lang ba yung gagastusin natin? Yung purchase price, kung magkano yung isang kitty. No? So, kada isang kitty is at 12,500 times 30 units. So, that is a total of 375,000 pesos. Pero, automatically, merong 10% na handling cost. Kasi nga, bumili tayo. So, every time na bumibili tayo, may handling cost tayo na 10% of the cost. And also, kapag bibili na lang tayo, sabi nga natin, magiging idle yung capacity and pwede natin siyang gamitin para makapag-produce ng product na Ming-Ming. And kapag produce natin yon, meron tayong revenue na 75,000 pesos. So this time, i-deduct natin siya kasi diba itong 375 tsaka 75, mga cost itong mga to, diba? So cost sila, itong 75 revenue to eh. So a deduction yung treatment natin sa kanya. No? Kasi ang kinocompute din naman natin is the cost to buy. So the cost to buy natin is from 375 plus 37,500 less 75,000 pesos, or a total cost to buy of 337,500 pesos. Now, comparing the two, gastos yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. So, wag yung mas mataas yung piliin mo. Okay? So, since gastos yung pinag-uusapan natin, the alternative that can give us a lower cost, that is 337,500 cost to buy. No? And the advantage niya from the other alternative that we have, simply get the difference of 363,000 and 337,500. We have a difference of 25,500 pesos. So the decision is savings if may 2 to 5, may 25,500 savings tayo if bibili na lang tayo ng component. Okay? So yun yung make or buy natin. So as of this part, meron ba tayong clarification from this problem? Or okay naman? Okay, sige, wala naman. Thank you. Then we can proceed. So answer natin dito is bibili na lang tayo for an advantage of 22,500 pesos. So ganun lang. We already have our decision. Then next, make or buy din to, pero hindi na natin i-exhaust, no? So you can do it on your own na lang. Pero ang difference dito guys is make or buy, pero meron tayo ditong avoidable cost na tinatawag. So kanina 'di ba, pinag-usapan na natin, kapag avoidable yung fixed cost, relevant siya, no? Kasi in one alternative nandun siya, pero in the other alternative hindi mo na siya gagastusin. So ayan, i-consider nyo rin to, relevant din to. So kasama to sa cost to make. Kasi kapag ikaw pa yung magpo-produce, meron ka pang cost, fixed cost, pero kapag bibili ka na lang, wala ka ng fixed cost, tama ba? So, ayan, or nabawasan na. Hindi naman wala na, pero nabawasan na nga. So, parang nag-zero out na. Pero the difference of the fixed cost in buying and making is kung magkano yung amount ng avoidable fixed cost. Okay? So, yeah. Yung answer na lang, that will be 2,000 pesos. Pakinote na lang yung answer. So, the answer is to buy. Buy na lang ng product for an advantage of 2,000 pesos. Question pala, kapag silent daw yung problem, unavoidable yung fixed cost. So that is correct, no? So kapag walang sinabi if yung fixed cost is unavoidable or avoidable, ang treatment natin sa kanya is unavoidable siya or irrelevant nga siya. Kasi nga 'di ba, kung fixed cost siya, kahit anong mangyari, gagastusin mo pa rin dapat siya. Parang yun yung idea, 'di ba? So yun yung pinaka assumption natin for that. Okay? So ayan. Iti-treat lang siya as avoidable if explicitly sasabihin sa problem na avoidable siya, like in this scenario natin na 'to, 'no? May question pa ba? Okay. So next scenario natin is accept or reject special order. Pero may time pala itong link ko. So it will end in 8 minutes. Pero out na lang muna tayo, then mag-send ako ng link na panibago a bit later. So we'll continue at 7 p.m. na. Sige, out na lang muna. Bye for a while. Bumalik kayo ah.
Bye-bye po.
Bye, sir.
Bye po.